Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl. Is this politics?
Or just a party?
So Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
Benito.
So he's performing at the Super Bowl this year.
Yes, he is. Halftime show.
I have heard lots of people talking about when he was announced that this was a big political FU to the Trump administration and to ICE. And seeing as the Super Bowl and the NFL ownership is overwhelmingly in support of Trump, financed him, Apple, that is putting on Apple Music's putting on, at least Tim Cook, or Tim Apple, as Trump called him once, financial supporter of Trump, wondering how much of a political statement this could possibly be.
I don't think that the people that run the NFL have to have been wanting to make a political statement for it to be a political statement.
Okay. But the way it was sold, or at least that's what the reaction was like, oh, this is like they're picking him in order to send a message, which makes no sense. To me, this just seems to be bread and circuses, as they used to call it in ancient Rome. Classic episode of Star Trek, which I will show a clip here.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is, I think we need to take a couple of steps back to how we got here.
Okay.
How we got Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl halftime show, which I think we kind of have to talk about. What is the Super Bowl halftime show?
Okay. It's when I take my smoke break.
Okay. Well, yes. And I think for a long time, it was really kind of an afterthought. It was the place for marching bands.
Yes.
Like, up to relatively recently.
Yeah. It was meant for everybody to go to the bathroom, refill on snacks and drinks. That's what it was there for, yeah.
Yes. And then, with, I think in 1993, Michael Jackson, then things started to shift. And over the past, 30 years, we've seen changes in the halftime show. And leading up to...
Like the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular.
Yes, there was that. And Prince, which was incredible.
Which was a classic. And I did watch that.
Yes, Prince was amazing. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, that was also fantastic. There were a lot of people that were fantastic. In 2016, Colin Kaepernick, he decided to take a knee before the beginning of... games to draw attention to police brutality. And that subsequently, he was, according to him, pushed out of the league in 2017. And then in 2019, he reached a confidential settlement with the NFL. So that basically acknowledged the fact that the NFL was actively pushing him out. Tacitly, I would suggest. Anyways, so in 2019, the Super Bowl was in Atlanta. And so you would expect that in Atlanta, you would have, probably a fair amount of hip hop. Yeah. It would be Black music predominantly in Atlanta. And the Super Bowl artist in 2019 was Maroon 5.
Right.
Yes. Big Boy was involved. There was another hip hop artist that was involved, but it was primarily Maroon 5 that was in 2019. And it was an absolute, total, and complete flop.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's like a decade after their height of their popularity, to at least that.
Exactly. And even though, Super Bowl halftime shows had come to be these kind of multi-artist spectaculars,
and usually older artists,
etc., whatever. This was particularly bad.
Right.
Then in 2020, they got a new production team. This is Jay-Z's Roc Nation.
Right.
Okay. And so from that moment forward, we saw significant change.
Those are the more memorable ones of the last few years that I've actually watched.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you can complain about some of them, whatever, but you got Beyonce, you got Rihanna, you got the
stars of
hip hop. You got Kendrick Lamar and Bad Bunny in his first appearance and that was the actual first Roc Nation produced Super Bowl halftime show with Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. Okay. So, I mean, this isn't a first for Latin music, or even for him as a halftime show.
Right.
performer. And so obviously using Roc Nation's production support, the halftime show has become a much bigger thing over the past 6 years. And this is really just alongside that trajectory. I mean, there are other sort of production elements, but Roc Nation, I think, gives you a reason why you've got these fantastic, fantastic artists. And then the other thing I think that kind of brings us to the point of Bad Bunny being at this position to be the kind of artist that could headline a Super Bowl halftime show is because of the way that music, Spanish language music, and other types of popular music have become incredibly popular over the past 5 to 10 years. And frankly, music that isn't in English. We're really at the point where people are more willing to accept music in a language other than English. And this is obviously not just Spanish language
beyond
music.
Just the novelty pop song.
Beyond just the novelty pop song. And you have to, of course, talk about K-pop.
K-pop, exactly.
K-pop
has shown that.
Has shown that as well. You know, that we have this space and time where there's been some openness to music that's not necessarily in English. To the Parasite won an Oscar, you know, so pop culture, music, film, TV, Squid Game, etc., these kinds of things. So the idea of having this superstar who is performing unilingually in Spanish is not really that surprising. That being said, there are all of these reasons why Benito, Bad Bunny is performing.
Yes, because he's hugely popular now, and these major corporations and these billionaires just want your money.
Yes, that is true.
They want to take your money and then kick you out of the country.
But I think that doesn't necessarily mean that this isn't important politically. Because if you listen to what Bad Bunny is saying in his music, his most recent album, Debí tener más fotos, you know, I should have taken more pictures, is this, lots of people say it's a love letter to Puerto Rico, to his homeland. He is making use of a whole range of different influences, referencing sort of the history of Puerto Rico, the history of Puerto Rico's relationship to the United States. And so he is someone who is very aware of the ICE crackdown. He spoke up about it at the Grammy Awards. He has pulled back from doing shows on his major concert tour in the United States because of the potential risk to his fans, being, you know, sort of a hotbed for ICE action if he was going to have these. He then had 30 shows last year in Puerto Rico during the down season, the low season, in order to draw, fans, draw support for Puerto Rico. The first set of shows were only for Puerto Rican residents, and then it was opened up to other people, but to raise money to support the territory that is still recovering from Hurricane Maria. He is someone who, his gender presentation, he's willing to kind of experiment with masculinity. He's worn sort of feminine clothing, or what we might see as feminine clothing, painting his nails, taking a stand on trans issues, taking a stand on LGBTQ plus issues, being very open to talking about sexuality, potentially being attracted to men as well as other genders, you know. So he is a highly political person. And so I think that what the reality is even though all of these kind of
whatever their motivations are, they're giving him a venue.
And even if he just goes out there and he plays his best songs, and he has many, many good songs, by him doing that at this particular moment, I think it can also still be politics. It will be a party, but parties can be political. And I think that if someone is going to throw a political party, I think Bad Bunny might be a pretty good bet. And John Hamm might be there.
Ooh, performing in the halftime show?
John Hamm really likes Bad Bunny, and he went to see Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico, and Bad Bunny gave him a nickname, John Jamon, which, is ham in Spanish. There you go.
Okay. So, see you next time.